Welcome guys to another video. I decided to make a re-unboxing of this Baliplus Orca V2 because I needed to trade it, so I decided to make a final review before the trade, and just for the occasion I decided to make this re-unboxing. So let's start. We have the pouch, the bag of Baliplus like always. Cloth o-ring, the Loctite for gluing the pivots, T10 mini screwdriver, spare hardware, full spare hardware, 10. And yes, this is my Baliplus Orca V2, which I had for a long time, but haven't flipped a lot. Now let's see some test and tune. Giggle. Also, I already have lubed it. It has, as you can see, a lot of play, and as a new one it was like similar to this. I flipped it for like some weeks only, and I let it there for a lot of time. Right. First some tests just for reference, and I'll do another some test maybe later. Now, as the look, I put some tapes on it because it was live blade, and just to make sure I won't get cut, I put some tape. This is the look of it. And now let's go into the flipping and what I think about it. Okay, so I just remembered that some of you just asked me to put some more specs on the Balisong review, so I have here some specs from BPKS. Spinless bushing design speed channel, T10 screws, titanium blade, and the weight is 127 grams. The price, maybe I'll talk about it later, it's 102.99 for a normal type and without anything, while if you get something like a special anodization, it costs a lot more, like 159. Same thing you can find on Balisong, which is nearly the same price. So just for reference. Now let's go into the flipping part. Okay, now let's talk about the flipping of this Balisong. So about the flipping, you can do pretty much everything, every trick, but there's a catch, because it is 127 grams, but it feels a bit sluggish, like slow in performing what you want. Let me show you something. Like I'm doing these combos, these tricks, but they feel slow and not as fast as as an aluminum Balisong or a fast and light titanium one. It feels slow. That's pretty much what I can describe while flipping it. And on some tricks, for example tambour rollover and also behind the 8 ball, it feels it lacks a bit of tip weight in order to finish the combo. At least that's something I personally feel. Something else I can say are mainly based on the other parts of the Balisong, and which influence a lot the flipping of it with some issues. Let's talk about the other parts. The handles. The handles feels look like okay, but for me they are a little too thick and very, I don't know how to say, piece of metal in the hand. Like you take it and you feel like, wow, it's a piece of metal in the hand. That's the feeling you can get from getting this Balisong and flipping it. Another thing about the handles, the jimpings. The jimpings are pretty much shallow, but the fact that it's made of titanium, it makes it grippy enough and does not, there's no problem on it. I think you can just do ladders and something else in an easy way because it's made of titanium. While if it would be made with something else, it wouldn't work as much as they are now. The handles makes the Balisong a bit handle biased, and that's probably why it feels so sluggish and slow in flipping. And talking about also the blade feels like the look of it is beautiful and there's nothing to say about it, but the blade weight distribution is probably too much based on design instead of flipping performance. As you can see here, for me, while flipping, I feel like there's too much weight and so material distribution on the center body of the blade, and it could be even like thinner. For example, like, let me take something. Let's take the Hydra. It could be like thinner, like in the center part, instead of so much material. And putting more material from the center body to the tip in order to get that momentum it needs for flipping and tricks such as I said, tambour rollover and behind the 8 ball. So because of that, it doesn't feel very performing in flipping. Talking about the grippiness of this Balisong, it's like normal, standard, classic of a titanium Balisong. So it's like near perfection as a grippiness, because it doesn't grip too much nor too less. So classic titanium. About the balance, yes, the balance is one of the most important thing on this Balisong, because you can feel it is like neutral to handle bias because of the design, but it doesn't feel right while flipping, like it doesn't feel good, such as a lack of a performance in flipping, even though it has a balance which seems to those of classic neutral to handle bias Balisongs. It's a tiny bit like handle bias, not as like comparison the Titus Egrets, which lacks a lot of blade weight. This Balisong, for example, in comparison, has enough blade weight, but because of the weight of the handles and also the lack of the tip material, so tip weight, it feels like a bit lacking on some tricks and needs a bit of more force. So about the sound of this Balisong is I don't like it much because it feels, as you have heard, it's very strange, like clunky and metal-like, a bit damped. I mean, how to say it? Like silenced in some way, and very ringy while doing this sound test. Something else to hear. And that's pretty much it. Talking about the quality, as a quality I can't say like it's bad, but it's obviously not an original Balisong when you get it. I mean, you can feel it's like a clone because it lacks quality in overall, like quality checks or something like that, because it has some scratches, some very little imperfections that makes it very clear that this one it's not an original Balisong, with also like the tune, which as you have seen it's lacking in a very much way. In a pretty much way. About the price I have already said it on the beginning of the video, so we have already saw it. It is 129 to 159 based on the version you choose, and as a value compared to what you spend in order to get this Balisong, I have gave it like around 7.5 out of 10, because I mean I would probably put something even less than this, but I decided to give 7.5 because comparing this clone to an original one, which costs 10 times more, around 100 and $1,200, something like that. This clone gives pretty much a lot of the Balisong without spending too much, and that's something like only a clone can do. So I just gave it enough, like 7.5, just for that reason, the material and the design, which are like the three main reasons you get this Balisong, and I don't think for flipping performance. And that's why the tier of this Balisong have been like announced, because the first time I reviewed this in a short, I gave this like a tier, but now I decided to put it on a A+, just because first, while flipping it, I don't know why, but it doesn't feel something very performing, even though the balance is like okay, it's not bad, but I don't feel like it's something to put higher, at least for me. Probably you guys would give this thing an S or S minus, but for me I really don't feel like to put it in a higher tier, at least for now. I don't know if I will change mine, but that's pretty much it. Now, overall, what should I say about this? This Balisong, I don't think it's for a beginner. It's more like a Balisong for those that decide to get a end game Balisong without like the idea, oh, I need to get something performing, and it's a high-end like collection piece, I think. So I would suggest this Balisong and advise to get it only if you really like the Orca or JK design, and you want to this thing not for flipping performance but for collection, or just to try the something very similar to the Orca and understand how it is without spending too much. And that's pretty much everything I can say about this Balisong. And in the end, I want also do like very fast comparison with something similar, because probably someone of you have also like, let me show you. Yeah, this is my collection, if you can see it. Now, something very similar in construction is this Balisong, which is an Apocalypse Medusa. It's similar, but comparing it in flipping, it definitely like beats the Orca. I don't know if it's a performance or, I mean, a preference issue or the balance, but you can really feel the difference in flipping, which and also performance in the Apocalypse Medusa comparing to the Orca, just because, as you can see, difference other than the fact it has less weights on I mean material on the handles, it also has a better weight distribution and the material distribution on the blade, as you can see here, because it puts more material on the tip of the blade instead of getting like a lot of material on the center, and that's pretty much why it gives that a little more bit momentum in finishing every trick you want. And that's why I really prefer much this Balisong instead of this one. In the end of the video, I need also to show you how a beginner would flip this Balisong if he decide to get it. So with my left hand, so let's just show you how it would end. So as a beginner you will do some tricks like this, the normal ones, the opening, the reverse opening, some other tricks. Okay, as you can see, some tricks for a beginner starting the hobby with this Balisong. It's not very easy to start and learn because it feels it lacks in something, as I said, the performance. So let me try also the thumb rollover with behind the 8 ball. Okay, I don't think I can do this without getting cut or something. Okay. Yeah, that's why I said I won't recommend this as a beginner. Okay guys, see you on another video.